What is John Spytek hiding from us? Does he really think we haven't noticed the chess game being played behind the scenes? If you think having the first overall pick in the 2026 draft is the end of the story, you are dead wrong. Things are heating up backstage, and I'm telling you, rebuilding this roster isn't going to be a walk in the park, it's going to be a war in the trenches. Today we're cutting straight to the chase. Spytech has an ace up his sleeve that could double our draft capital, while Clint Kubiak has decided to bring back a familiar face to fix the disaster that is our passing game. And to wrap things up, I'm going to show you why the Raiders' past, specifically at number 54, holds the exact lesson we need to learn right now if we don't want to embarrass ourselves all over again. I'm Ryan Miller, and if you want the cold, hard truth about the silver and black, buckle up and hit that like button, because what I'm about to tell you changes everything for the Raiders. There's no room for amateurs here. It's win or go home. Let's talk about the bombshell. John Spytek isn't satisfied with the 10 picks we already have. The guy is a trading down addict, and if you look at his track record, he turned the last draft into a masterclass on how to multiply picks. He traded with Miami, then with Houston, and the result? We beefed up the trenches. Now in 2026, coming off an embarrassing 3-14 season, Spytek has that look in his eye like he's about to pull something off again. Here's the deal. We have the number 1 pick and the 36th pick. But Spytek has made it crystal clear that the focus is surrounding our future QB, who everyone knows should be Fernando Mendoza, with protection and talent. He said it verbatim. You want to limit the pressure on that guy from the jump. Translating that from front office speak to plain English, he's going to flip mid-round picks for more bodies. We have 4 fourth-rounders. 4! That is heavy ammunition to move up, move down, or snag veterans in surgical trades. In my view, Spytek is playing a dangerous but necessary game. He knows Mendoza is throwing him to the wolves if the O-line stays a sieve and the defense can't hold the line. His strategy is simple. If I don't need my QB to put up 35 points a game because the defense is elite and the run game works, he survives. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. If Spytek doesn't use these 10 picks, or the 12 or 13 he'll likely end up with, to build a wall in front of our new QB, he might as well pack his bags. But the confidence here is that he's going to wheel and deal like we've never seen before. He doesn't just want stars, he wants depth. He wants a roster with meat on the bones. It's a masterstroke or a total backfire if he ignores elite talent just for the sake of quantity. What do you prefer? 1 superstar or 3 blue-collar starters? Spytek has already chosen the workers. If you thought the shocks ended in the front office, get a load of this. Nick Holz is back. Clint Kubiak isn't playing around and brought in the former Titans offensive coordinator to be our passing game coordinator. And look, Holz knows the halls of Allegiant Stadium like the back of his hand. He spent a decade with us from 2012 to 2021. Oh, Ryan, but he was in Tennessee. Yeah, and you know what he did there? He mentored Cam Ward, last year's number 1 pick, who started all 17 games and tossed 15 touchdowns in the middle of total chaos. He knows how to handle high-caliber rookies. He squeezed every bit of production out of Tony Pollard and Calvin Ridley, both hitting 1,000-yard seasons. The guy is a receiver whisperer. Remember Hunter Renfrow making the Pro Bowl in 2021 with over 100 catches? That was Holz. Remember Amari Cooper breaking rookie records in 2015? Holz again. Kubiak's plan is obvious. He wants someone who knows exactly how to maximize our WR talent to make life easy for Mendoza, or whoever QB1 ends up being. It's a safety hire, but it leaves me with some questions. We need innovation, not just familiar faces. But honestly, seeing Holz back gives me some relief because he understands the silver and black mystique. He worked with Gruden, Musgrave, Greg Olson. The guy survived 3 different regimes here. That's not for everyone. He brings stability to a unit that was a no-man's land last year. The Raiders' passing game needs to stop being predictable, and Holz is the guy who makes players like Renfrow look like all pros. If he does half of that with what we have today, our offense finally joins the 21st century. Now, let's take a breath and look at the horizon, because the 2026 draft in Pittsburgh is just 54 days away. And while we're dreaming of the future, the franchise is reminding us who we are. The number of the day is 54, and the name is Greg Biekert. Why does this matter now? Because Biekert was the antithesis of what the Raiders have been lately. He was a 7th-round pick. 7th! And the guy played 144 games, racked up nearly 1,000 tackles, and was the anchor for defenses that actually struck fear into people. He wasn't the fastest, he wasn't the guy trending on social media, mostly because it didn't exist. But he was the guy you knew would be there on every single down. The radar here is this. We're so obsessed with the #1 pick and the flash of a star QB that we're forgetting that winning teams are built on Greg Biekerts. We need guys who play with a chip on their shoulder, who outplay their draft slot. Biekert survived eras, moved cities with the team, and never dropped his level. My concern with this 2026 draft is whether Spytech and Kubiak are hunting for those high-volume guys, those elite workers Biekert represented. We need a linebacker with that DNA today, someone to jump on fumbles in a tuck rule scenario, even if the refs rob us later. If we walk out of this draft with just a flashy QB and no new number 54 to bring the hammer in the middle of the field, we're going to keep being the team that gives up 30 points a game. The past is screaming in our ears. Talent wins games, but consistency and grit win divisions. Long story short, Spytech is ready to auction off our extra picks for roster depth. Nick Holz returns to save the air attack, and history reminds us that without a defensive heartbeat, we are nothing. The stage is set, but the stakes are massive. Now for the question that needs answering, and I want to see you guys go at it in the comments. With Spytech admitting he wants to take the pressure off the new QB, would you rather see him use those fourth-round picks to trade up for another elite top 15 talent? Or is he right to spread that capital to get as many bodies on the roster as possible? Quality or quantity? The future of the franchise depends on this answer. Drop a comment below because I read everything and we all know, once a Raider, always a Raider. I'm out.